Hello, everyone. My name is Alexander Ermenkov, and I'm continuing my series, Daily Reality with Alex. Today is 24th of January, 2023. And we are going to moving forward to one very interesting concept. And this is the concept about awareness, how to rule it and how to navigating during our reality. I'm going to tell you how to navigate and to rule our awareness and the way we are using our attention in order to gather awareness is so important, and why we can fall into very interesting and new traps in the near future if we are only in a situation where just we are thinking that to have awareness is the solution. Nothing that is part of ourself, nothing that is part of all our internal tools is a solution. Even if we are the most aware being on the planet, still this is not any solution. And then it is very important to understand why are we willing to be aware, and of what we are willing to be aware, and what are we going to focus, and where we exactly want awareness to be opened for us. Because if we just scatter through reality, and if we just move forward into reality and just are going around and drifting and being aware of this and that, and we are just wandering into the reality, we are not going to be using the potential of awareness, because awareness is following what is important for us. Awareness is very closely connected with the activated reticular system, because we are aware only of things that the brain and the mind are thinking that they are important for us. That's why when we are using intent, we are not using it only for the physical matter reality manifestations, but we are using the same intent in order to be able to program and to run also our awareness. And it is the same with the attention, because attention and awareness, they go together, and it is very important to know in which direction we are willing to open reality in order to gain more awareness. And everything about this topic happened to me when I was watching in the World Economic Forum one of the new topics about the drugs and the medicine and the predictable medicine and the individualized medicine, and how many new wearable devices we are to have in order to be aware not only of the heart and how our heart is being monitoring, but now there are going to be new devices that we are going to put them in the ears, and when we put our things that we put constantly in our ears, our buds and so on, they are also through them going to make for us available to monitor our brain waves, and all of us are going to become more and more aware about our brain waves, and we are going to be able to monitor which part of the day at which wave length our brain is working, and then we are going to make assumptions when we are more productive during the day, when are we to activate some different type of experiences and stages based on our brain waves. So there are going to be created in the future so many more devices that are going to make us alert, and we are going to gather so much awareness on a daily basis upon so many things which someone already has decided that they are important for us. But if we decide that we are going to rule our reality and we are going to decide what are we going to be aware for and what we are consciously deciding not to be aware of, because it is happening in all parts of reality. We are the one who are constantly, by focusing on some specific topics and are putting our attention on some specific experiences and things and importances, we are doing it by defocusing, by de-learning, by being in a stand of decision to be ignorant and non-aware of some of the things that are happening. If now my brains go into understanding everything that is happening in the secret societies and how the world, through some type of evil intents, is being ruled, and what type of predictable decisions and what type of intentions are working towards all of the humanity, and I'm going constantly to research this type of topics, then what I'm going to understand is that I'm going to become more and more aware about how much attention and how much intent is put towards a specific manifestation of energy towards something to be revealed in the future. But when we are managing our awareness, when we are managing our attention, when we are managing our focus, we are to decide what we want in reality to be aware for. That's why I don't like personally to use these so-called aura rings. I know a lot of the high conscious people are using them and they receive a lot of information. All the tracking devices are giving us a lot of information about the body. Also, there are so many wearable devices that are going to give us so much information that we are going to track and to be aware of. But because I'm in the pharmaceutical industry and I know how new illnesses are coming into the awareness of the society, once the researchers start to understand that there is a possibility and maybe they have found a new illness, of course they are preparing a solution, but then the big marketing trick is how we to put the awareness about new specific illness and disease. And this is a big marketing campaigns that costs millions and billions of dollars or euros in order the humanity to understand and to become aware of a new probability of disease to appear. And of course, we already have some companies that even have a solution for this new, very dangerous illness. Of course, if we are type of people that are constantly wanting to be aware about everything that is possible to be out there, maybe we are very fast going to think about and to catch this and to start thinking maybe there is something in me that is very able to have this new specific type of disease. And if we go and put our mind into going into gathering awareness, because awareness is something that through attention and focus, we are constantly gathering, and then our mind is using this data to analyze us and to put us into different states and positions in the physical matter reality. We are the one who are to decide and to filter what type of awareness of information we are going to gather in our assets of experience in order to give and move us further. If we think that only internal beliefs are able to be come long-term limitations for us, the same can happen with all the unnecessary awareness that we are gathering in our mind. And these awarenesses then can create very different type of anxieties, and our focus and attention is going to go in a lot of different things that are not specific and not so important in this given moment for all of us. But I know that we are living in the age where we are data freaks and we want to know everything as much as possible, because we know that the solution is that the more knowledge we have, more strict and exact decisions we are going to make, because then we are going to have a much more better judgment. Also, as more awareness we are able to gather, and for some of us this has become a very big chasing rabbit game, that more and more we become aware about specific things, then we are going to become more and more deep and wise into our movements that we are doing to reality. But in a sense, it is also interesting to have and to understand the opposite process. As I'm learning myself to de-learn, to not hunt after knowledge, to not go forward to know more and more and more and more, but just to use as much as possible and to see what is implementational, and only to be surrounded with things that can be validated and are working specifically for me. The same is to be done with the awareness. 100% what I'm constantly observing and I'm gathering awareness about is my own personal interaction in reality. Am I interested in the moment in all my genetical sequences and every type of disease, for example, that is possible to be happening with me in the next 20 years? And do I need to gather more awareness because they are going to be in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe hundreds to 200 more genetical type of tests that are going to predict for us all the possibilities and probabilities that are available to a very extent and percentage to happen with all of us? Do we want to be more aware about all the different type of probabilities and possibilities, or are we going to use our intent and intention, and we are the ones that are going to choose what is important for us? This is up to us to decide, and that's why every day I'm more and more convinced how important it is now, and how much more important it will be in the next 5 to 10 years, all of us to learn how to be rulers of our own reality, how to work with all the tools that we have in our internal beings, in order to be existentially surviving in the next decades, when we are going to be surrounded with so much wearables and with so much information that then maybe it will be too late to be trying to de-aware, to de-learn. That's why now it is important what type of awarenesses we want to gather. But Alex, with my latest smartphone, I can have so much information. I'm now constantly monitoring my heart. I know exactly when I can have an insult, and more of these awareness devices are connected with the health, because the industry in which I am is going to become more and more beneficial from all of us in the future. And this is okay for Alex as a business, but long term, we are to understand who is the ruler of our own personal reality, and what are we actually willing to be aware of, and what is of non-importance for us, and we don't care about a lot of the possibilities and probabilities of specific information that is going to be more and more available, even on a personal being level, for all of us. As we now are receiving the daily forecast about the weather, in the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to have specific information created just for us that is going to give us so much of what is probable for us just for this specific day. And then we are no more longer going to be dependent upon the opinion of other people, but we are more and more going to be dependent on the opinion of the algorithms and the wearable devices information about what we are allowed to do in reality or not. So basically, everything we are learning in the next 5 to 10 years regarding abilities to rule our internal world is going to help us to escape the so-called long-term unescapable type of prisons of everything that is going to become so crucial and so impossible not to monitor in the future. More and more from the physical matter reality, the internal, the external objective intention about the well-being of all of us is going to be concerned with more and more specific details for each of us. And in the next 10 to 20 years, it is going to become so difficult to not be aware. When on a daily basis, I'm going to receive approximately 300 different DNA and genetic probabilities about what is possible to happen with me in the next 1 year, how am I going to learn to not be aware of all of this and to make it non-important? Because everything is based on the general principle of we are the one who are going to decide who is going to be a ruler of my own personal objective and subjective reality and what type of information I'm going to be surrounded with and what type of filtration I'm going to create in my own personal experience in order to be able to rule what type of awarenesses am I going to gather. This is very important because more and more people want to be aware about everything. We want to be aware about the non-visible world. We want to be aware more and more about well-being. And by the external businesses that are going into this new awareness industry and this new consciousness industry, we are going to be surrounded in the next 10 to 20 years with so many devices, with so many opportunities and options that are going to tell all of us, just outsource everything that is in your inner experience and being to these external algorithms, to this external artificial intelligence, and lets them do all of this for you. It is the same as with the smartphones. All of us and more of us are no more able to sustain our lives without them. There are so many good things about them, and all of these applications and all of these smart devices are encouraging us to not go into sharpening our intellectual experiences because we don't need them. All the devices in the future, which are going to give us more and more awareness and conscious probabilities, they're going to paradoxically not sharpen, but create an opposite experience for us because it is going to become a very generic thing to know everything about awareness, to know everything about the different consciousness, vibrations, and so on, because there are going to be so many devices that are going to help us all the time to measure everything that is out there, that anymore it is not us that are going to decide for us, because we are going to have everything that is going to be placed before our daily reality happen for all of us to be preconditioned and to know exactly where to move to and where not to move to, because this is everything that the devices are telling us, and the devices in the algorithms, they are never wrong. If the devices and the algorithms are telling me that today my state of being, my mind vibrations are so that I'm not to go into deep state, I'm not to go into states of exploration, into states of not being productive and so on, but just to stay in some specific state, then I'm the one that is not going to choose, for example, in this specific day to be active. And I'm going to lose my ability to be able to change states, to be able to decide when to go calm, when to go deep, when to enter into breakthrough modes and to really move forward into shifts, into influence, but the devices are going to tell everything that is available for me. And of course, when we are learning about awareness, and of course, awareness is giving us power of choices, but when we are not ruling, why exactly right now I'm receiving a specific awareness? Why specifically in this type of conference, somebody has designed the message in such a way that I'm receiving specific awarenesses that are happening to all the people in the same room, in the same time? Why are we not questioning that always there is a pre-designed experiences that are prepared for us, and we are just unconsciously accepting them as our own subjective experience of awareness, while we are just bluntly going around and are gathering awarenesses, and it is not good or bad, but at least it is the us who are to consciously decide in what area of life we are going to gather awareness, and we are the ones who are to navigate our attention and focus, because they are primarily for the awarenesses I'm going to gather during the day. So actually, we are the one, when we are planning 2023, not to go only after the things, but why don't we start going in 23 after the imprints that are going to come into our mental realm? Why we are not setting goals about what we want about our mental and mindset state? Why we are not setting goals about what we want and what we are dreaming about our heart experience? And so on and so on. We are to be focused more and more on the inner being that is generating the reality for us. But the big problem that we are constantly fighting, we, the I amness, are constantly in competition with the algorithms, with the human designs, with the human engineering, with the futurists that are preparing ready solutions for us. And this is what I'm usually stating as, are we the cookers of our own reality, or are we going to go after the fast food that is prepared for us from the designers of our society, from the designers of our possibility for experiences? Or are we to be genuine and unique into giving more and more space about we to be the rulers of our own reality and to be able to express and to create more space about what type of awareness we want to come into our mind realm. And this is important because don't be amazed when after 5 or 10 years, we think today that we are very unique, and we find out that after 5 or 10 years, maybe 90% of the population is again having the same thinking, again in the same sleep mode, while we all think that we're awake. The difference between awake and sleep mode is so small. What is the sleep mode? When we laugh and enjoy so much the magic, when we start believing that we are living the dream, when we stop being alert in our daily reality, are we not more and more going into a sleep mode? What type of awareness we are to know in these specific moments, and in order for myself to constantly be awake, what I'm doing, I'm constantly putting myself into different type of challenges, into different type of 100% opposite experiences to what I normally experience, in order to constantly say in reality, well, am I awake? Am I constantly alert? Where I'm putting more awareness? What type of awarenesses I'm gathering today? And are they functional? Are they interactional with my daily reality? So this is what I'm doing with my awareness daily. I don't just think that awareness is just happening to me by chance, or it is inputted in me through external design, or I'm the one that am deciding daily what do I want, what do I see, and what I'm seeking is the thing that I'm going to find. So that's why I'm constantly in an explorational mode, and I will never just stay in a state where I think that I know it all, that I have it all, that now I understand it all, because immediately when I start going into these states, again, I'm going to go into sleep modes during my awake stage. We are constantly in fight about staying awake. We are constantly in fight about what type of awareness we are gathering, which is making us to make more and more empowering decisions toward being more interactional. And that's why, for me, it is very interesting and important in the next decades to be more and more willingly aware about the invisible and about understanding our inner being with all its potentials, probability. And not only this, not only to know, not only to have information, but to learn how to rule our inner reality, then to learn how to interact and influence the outer reality, then to learn how to stay in relationships, how to know how to go into coherence with everything that is out there, and to know how to collaborate with everything that is available in any given moment. So thank you for watching today. Ruling reality is existential for all of us, and we are going to feel it more and more in the future. And also in the month of February, between the 20th and the 30th of February, I'm going to give away 10 scholarships for Ruling Reality Basic Program. So you follow me and you are going to learn when and how they are going to be given away. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your reality and be aware that you are the one that decides what are you going to be aware for. Bye-bye.